What's up everybody, welcome to the channel. This is Davo and we're going to be sharing part 2 of the tour around Corigliano d'Otranto, where we get to see quite a lot of amazing things. Just stick around, you'll find out what I mean.
This is actually a very old town going back to the 9th century with the Brazilian monks that came from the Middle East and bringing Christianity over. So this was actually quite a very important base, Corigliano d'Otranto. I'm going to show you a couple of portals around the back here, which are quite good, and then...
This building is a bank? Or was a bank?
This building, no, is a private residence. Probably downstairs was a bank. That balcony there, that oyster shape balcony gets photographed and very often, yeah.
It's for sale.
And in the summer, it's another story. This is packed, the bar, the restaurants out here, table and chairs. And
so let's talk about this, because a lot of people are used to seeing some pretty old, broken up stuff, but in dead towns. And I don't know about this one, but Sicily has a lot of really cheap... What are you doing?
Can I film this or not?
Yes.
It's the first time I see this open. Oh my God, this is unbelievable. That's obviously a cistern rather
where
than
the water goes.
Rather than a well, because it's got that. So that comes from the roofs, and so this would be a cistern. And this cistern is probably incredibly large. See if we can shine something like that.
Drop my...
Yeah, wow.
Don't drop your phone.
No, I won't. Yeah, it's an incredibly large cistern. And this is what we were called a palazzo. Obviously some renovations have started. Yeah.
Amazing. You can see these arches.
But the courtyard is just incredible.
This is the most different type of vaulted.
Star vaulted, yeah, because this is probably something was joined in between after. It's quite interesting.
By the way, we just kind of walked in for anybody who's curious.
Oh, wow.
There's a door open up there too.
Yes, there will definitely be a frescoes up there. Should we just go? No. That's the worst that can happen.
Yeah. Well,
Have you ever spent a night in prison in Italy?
I don't want to know. All right, if you want to see the rest of what we found inside this huge abandoned palazzo in Corigliano, please keep watching to the end of the video. We're going to tour around the outside area first and come back inside at the end. That's cool. (1804), at least that stone.
And that's the carporo with all the...
These are so porous. That's what we were looking at before, but it's everywhere. The erosion of the leche stone.
It's compact sand. So wherever in the sand there are more fossils, then the erosions will happen a lot quicker because the water will travel through, washing through the sand and leaving just the traces of the fossil. It becomes almost like a seabed, you know, like you're looking at corals.
It does look like algae, coral. Not algae, coral, yes.
And these are actually another piece of history in Salento. They're the tabacchificio, tobacco factories, which up until the mid-80s they were functioning, and they created a lot of wealth in Salento.
So how many real estate agencies do you think are in this area? This town. Let's start with this town.
In this town, I think you have you're probably three in Corigliano, in this little town.
How many people? 5,000?
About 5,000. In Lecce, for example, you have over 30 just in one city. So this church here, and this is another little corner that I come to show people very often, but it's connected to the church and connected also to the two, for me, best portals because there was a crypt here from the Basilian in the 9th century, and then on the crypt of the Basilian they built this church. This is the main church, La Chiesa Madre, and unfortunately it's closed at the moment, but on the floor it's got a reproduction of the mosaic that you have in the cathedral in Otranto, the Tree of Life, which is one of the most important witnesses of the presence of pagan communities here in Salento.
Does anyone want to try the QR code? Hold on. All right, give it a shot. Let's see what happens.
And I like this detail, well, this portal, and you can see what's happened in there in the 1950s and 60s, and bits of properties been added on. But if you come to visit this place and you go inside the church, you can follow this detail, which is in the ceiling of the church, right across us, coming all the way.
Wow.
Then you see over that aluminium door, you've got
ruined
a thing that goes back to 1665.
Well, it's
a few changes. Properties always go through changes. We go through changes, and this is another suggestion of an entrance or an altar or whatever it is. Whatever happened, something went wrong when cement and metal was introduced in architecture. Before that, they had to really think. Before doing something, they really had to think. And then you have people that really have renovated properties like this one, and they've done such a fantastic job in bringing back that essence of the history.
1622. Corigliano. I was married in Corigliano.
Oh, and that's another fantastic portal.
So how hard is it to maintain? I mean, every few decades someone will come along and actually rebuild, or they just like to keep it as it is?
Well, in terms of maintenance, that doesn't need any maintenance, and if you think they're about 500 years old, but obviously if they deteriorate to the point that the structure is put at risk, they need to replace parts.
All right, I think that's enough for now. Let's jump back inside that huge palazzo because it was just amazing and I want to share it with you.
As long as you don't speak Italian, you'll be all right.
Cosa?
But when I look at places like this, I try to imagine how wealthy this area was to build these properties. This is amazing. Oh my God.
I forgot my flashlight.
Oh my God.
It's huge.
We're right overlooking the square that we were looking at earlier. And you're talking about frescoes. Here we are.
There we go. Can you make any guesses? When was it built, do you think?
This would have been probably around about 16th century, probably at the end of the 16th century.
Wow.
And this is a very, very complicated star-shaped ceiling. So I'm just as excited as you are because
I can tell. So they are doing some projects. If anybody's curious how things are built here.
You could tell many changes have gone through. This is just a terrazzo tile, which is quite horrible. So the original floor here of this building was lost. Potentially they were looking for the original floor by doing these digs. This could potentially be the original floor here of this particular property. Because this floor only came into usage in the 60s. Probably the digging was done for other reasons, probably just some inspection holes.
This thing is crazy. By the way,
this is marble.
If you haven't subscribed already to the channel, do that, as well as subscribe to Salento with Love, where we can show you more properties like this, because Salento in Puglia was apparently just full of kind of a rich families due to oil trade back in the day, and there's a lot of these communities that have these mansions in the middle of the town. They like to flaunt their riches a bit. And yeah, we found our way inside of this place here. What's interesting is how many bedrooms these things will have, and still only like one bathroom. One bathroom inside, I'm sure was a luxury. But look at all these, how detailed everything is. Anyway, not the bathtub so much. It's beautiful.
This was the gift of the day.
Well, I couldn't be happier at this point.
But it's amazing to think of the height of the doors as well, you know, which he was a way of showing.
Those things are as tall as a ceiling typically would be. Yeah, let's go. We're good.
That's beautiful as well. And we have some good flooring in here. Oh, I think this area is probably quite interesting. First of all, we got the cementina here, and probably, yeah, lovely pattern.
Yeah, very nice.
And look at these doors.
Very special door trim.
Much older than the ones that we've seen next door. Oh, there would have been another entrance probably.
But this place is huge.
These places. But look at this. Oh, this is a fantastic shop. Oh my God.
What is this, a shrine?
Can you believe this? I can't believe I'm looking at this.
Yeah, I can't either. I would have never walked in here if you weren't with me. At least I can say he made me do it.
These are all the frescoes, look.
Can you shine a light on it?
Yeah. You see, they've got all the pattern.
Wow.
There's going to be some good renovation going on in here, because this is right next. Look at the pattern.
Wow, we're like discovering it for the first time. He's like a kid at Christmas.
Yeah, well, this particular room was totally covered in frescoes, and obviously right next to the chapel.
That's what this is, a chapel?
Yeah,
look
so
at that wall.
that's the altar. Yeah.
Is there anything inside? Oh, nothing we want.
Oh, Edizione Panini. Anybody who collected stickers, and that's
What
a
is
football
that?
player.
A football player? Are you kidding?
So we know that some children lived in here.
That was their treasure.
I feel sorry for them, but
Are you going to take a minute to pray?
probably here where they would have kept the sacramenti, I guess.
What's buried inside the altar?
Absolutely nothing.
No, it's just an altar stone.
Well, I wonder why they had a cutout piece, probably. You see this little window here?
Yeah.
That's
What
quite
does it do? There's one over there too.
Probably for a confession.
Ah. Here someone would stand in here. Hello. So it's the back side of it.
Yeah, this probably would have been for the confession.
And so the priest would stay back here. during the...
And here actually on the floor you've got cocciapesto, so this would have been the original floor before tiles or anything was created or invented. So here, this is obviously the older part of the building, and then other bits will probably added on afterwards. And here, this was probably connected to the storage area where they will normally keep the grain, or directly onto the well.
Makes me wonder what's on the other side. It's open at the top. The stairway.
Closed.
A closed stairway, so it would have gone somewhere. There's a window at the top.
Oh, the size of the bathroom. It just goes on and on
Subscribe, because
wow.
This is just insane.
Oh, this is, look at that. I don't normally whisper when I talk. Yeah,
we don't want to get caught.
It carries on.
I haven't even counted how many rooms there are yet.
From what I know, this building was recently sold. So it'll be amazing to see what it's going to become.
It's amazing.
And this is another fantastic cementina floor.
Well, check out the ceiling. It's very, very...
Oh, wow. Yeah, this is definitely the older part of the building, because this particular type of...
Oh, let's get out of here.
This particular type of ceiling is different. Did we come this way? Did we come this way, that way? It just goes on.
We think we're gonna get caught.
Oh. Everybody's having lunch.
But do you think they're actually building right now?
Who's at the door? No one?
I'm just shocked. I did not expect...
I'm shocked myself, actually.
I did not expect this experience. And every single time I pass one of these buildings, I'm like, I wonder what it looks like inside. And I'm like, no, I'll never go in there. No. And yeah, well, thankfully, Davide was here. So subscribe to Salento with Love for more abandoned property.
It was all a frescoed, or
experiences.
Figures and...
Amazing. I always like this stone.
Well, I mean, even
facade.
if you look at these details, I mean, look at that. Look at the delicacy of that. This is all cast iron, and all this was all handmade. I mean, and to actually do this back in the 1920s and 30s. And it's interesting how they introduced, this is probably sort of 20s, because it's got a really Liberty style. Obviously, it's got
more.
A basement.
Yeah, cantina.
Well, this has been a treat.
You guys. First of all,
this has been a mega treat.
I'm not in prison.
I'm sweating. But at least we didn't get caught anyway.
I know. There was a moment inside where I heard a boom.
Me
and
too.
I was just like, stopped in my tracks. I was like, how do you get out of here? Because I don't want to go to jail. I don't know. He was saying that this thing right here is often photographed, right? It makes a really nice Instagram post, but it almost kind of looks a little dangerous. Okay, so just to give you an idea of where we actually were walking around, that property right there, it doesn't give it justice, but from this, probably where the color changes all the way to the corner, and I'm sure it's like the entire block, but it was that is the property that I was asking about, like, what is this for? Was it a bank, right? On the ground floor, it was a bank. The upstairs is a residency. Anyway, it was beautiful. Thank you, Salento with Love, for that experience, because I was much more courageous with you. Oh, man.
This is the sign of time, the wind and the rain.
Yeah, the erosion.
Working through, but you can tell how even this column had details carved, just like you see in the top, a little bit like Corinthians. And then this is been replaced just to give a little bit of stability. And this round things, you may think, obviously, they used to
block the cars?
Well, this actually have an interesting story, because we find them in Corigliano, but majority of them come from Otranto. These were the balls that the Turkish used with the catapults to attack the city of Otranto. So some of them you find them over scattered, but in Otranto you find quite a few.
They just left this one here?
Well, no, they were put here for the carriage when he went in, and not to.
So they really are to block the traffic, but they were derived from military purposes.
Yeah, small size, big size, but you think a catapult from a ship throwing these massive stones.
Very cool. I'm going to walk in here. Yeah, there's more people. There's people in this one. Yeah,
You get scared easily.
I'm jumpy at this point.
Oh, you see the piece that they've taken from there and they've replaced it. I've just realised they've actually kept it, which is very nice.
Oh, nice. Oh, so they took that out. And they're going to use it as a decoration in the house?
Well, they just kept it as a piece of history, really, because...
That's cool. Well, I don't know. There's nothing I can see for the rest of the day that's going to top what I just saw. That's what I feel like. Because, yeah, that was a treat.
And some nice restaurants as well, like, for example, this little restaurant called 400 on the left here. It's called 400 because the building was, well, traces of built in the 14th century.
400, 14th century?
And it's really good food.
How is that connected? 400, 14th century?
1,400.
1,400.
Yeah, and I think
well,
he
should
had
be
it
called
written.
1,400.
I think 1,400. I think he's got it written somewhere.
Well, this has been really, really cool. This is probably enough for Corigliano, right?
Corigliano.
Corigliano.
D'Otranto. Because there is also a Corigliano in Calabria.
Corigliano d'Otranto.
That's the one.
Okay.
That's the building that we were in before. Look.
Oh, so we just circled the whole thing?
Look.
We were literally walking around and exploring that whole place. Let's see if I can get a better shot. All the way from that edge to that one. And we were even downstairs here, but we didn't come to where these doors were. Wow, just amazing. And there are signs of doors that were once there. Probably closed it off when it became a bank. So amazing. If you'd like to know more about Salento, definitely go to YouTube, Salento with Love, his channel. Davide does a really good job of explaining the art and the romance and the culture of the area. That's why I'm here, honestly, because someone from a comment in one of my channels, I don't remember who it was, but thank you for mentioning that I should connect with Davide here, because it's been a treat. We got to explore this property. Don't tell anyone. But just look at it. It's so beautiful. Anyway, thank you again, Davide, for that beautiful experience.
Fantastic having you here.
Having an Italian with me made me a lot more courageous. Anything you want to say before we go?
Well, what can I say? Visit Salento with Love on our YouTube page or Instagram, and if you are still indecisive where to go in Italy, just put your finger on Puglia. Puglia anywhere, it's magic.
Amazing.
And the weather.
Yeah, it's true. October 29th. October 29th. Insane. See you guys.